distinguished writers, fellow poets and artists, friends, good afternoon. I would like to thank the judges and the members of the Writers International Network for giving me a Distinguished Poet Award, and because I feel like I'm just a neophyte. So being a neophyte poet, this brings me tremendous inspiration to write more and deserve and hopefully be published more like the rest of the awardees today. So I just arrived in this country a year ago, and the transition has brought huge challenges to me and my family. So I consider this as a special recognition and encouragement to push through and be a part of the fabric of Canadian society, just like the rest of you. So my deep appreciation goes to our esteemed President, Ashok, and his wife, Ate Ida, who has opened her heart to me and my family. And I would also like to thank Ms. Mabel Elmore for her presence today. She brings us great pride. And I would also like to especially mention my husband for driving me 16 hours all the way from Lethbridge, Alberta, just to receive this award. And that is his birthday too. So on this occasion, since the bell might ring, I will just only read one poem. So this poem is from my country, the Philippines, and I haven't memorized it. So it's I will just read it. So I hope you will be able to feel the depth of the conflicted feelings that we Filipinos abroad have toward a country that we love, but we have to leave behind. So the title of my poem is An Ode to a Motherland Lost. I'm gonna start now. Okay. An ode to a motherland lost. How does one write an ode to a motherland long left behind? To a language almost forgotten? To a culture that seems alien to our children, perhaps to our children's children, and sometimes stranger even to us born on its very soil? How does one deal with the conflicted sentiments of loyalty and betrayal, and finding our own people trusted with the mission of protecting our national patrimony, squandering such precious opportunity, making the legacy of thousands of Filipino patriots worthless despite their bloody sacrifices? How do we make our children proud? How do we explain to them when they ask? The millions stolen, the hungry multitude, the desperate diaspora of lost expatriates, driven to leave faces and places beloved in search of greener pastures, forced to accept pittance or torture, suffer in abject loneliness on alien soils. How do we explain to them why we are here and not there, trying to make the native land a better place for our children and the future generations? So now tell me, how do we write? Where do we start? Can we even wax poetic? How can one write of joy when one only feels loneliness? How can one write of hope when one only feels helplessness? Or pride when one only feels dismay and disappointment? Of connections when one is adrift and far away? Torn between paying homage or asking for forgiveness, this humble expatriate tries to do justice to the act of writing a poem in honor of one's motherland. But are words ever enough to describe, to paint the agony of feeling torn, nagged by the omission of failing to stay and fight for one's homeland as it faces its direst hour against the treacherous traitors? On whom an act of betrayal was committed when we turn our backs by not being there, fighting the fight with the rest of them unsung heroes? Or is retreat the only choice, foreign asylum our only refuge, to reinforce our meager strength, coming back only when strong enough to help rebuild our nation torn asunder? Today is a celebration to honor not only the present, but also to pay tribute to the past, to the legacy of all our compatriots who shed their blood so we can have our precious freedom. And as we stand united today in honor of our proud history, that we got out of the bondage imposed upon us by foreign conquerors, long since driven away by the sheer bravery and blood sacrifices of our long-dead heroes. We Filipinos look to the future with humbled minds and prayerful hearts. Yes, despite being on faraway shores, we can still do our part to rewrite history in a bloodless struggle. We can still defend the legacy and the privilege of being born a Filipino and proud to be called Filipino. And all we have to do is believe. Thank you so much.